who did it best? So a handful of reports came out where they collected data from 22 different countries between the ages of 50 and 70. You had empty nesters and non-empty nesters, basically people that decided to not have children, and by default they are empty nesters. Which, as a side note, I cannot imagine raising a child between the ages of 60 and 70.
Hey Dad, I just want to let you know really quick, I'm gonna go out and grab some food with my friends.
What?
My friends. My friends?
One more time.
Food, friends, grab.
Huh?
I'm gonna pick up some bread from the grocery store.
Go pick up my dialysis medicine on the way back.
Yeah, okay. Can't hear an ass.
I heard that.
But looking at it, 34% of men that decided to not have kids listed themselves as very happy. 37% went to men that had kids but are currently empty nesters. 31% went to men that had kids that are still living at home. For the women, it was 39%, 35%, and 30% accordingly. When you're measuring something like happiness, it's really hard to gauge as is, and those numbers are so close anyway, we're just gonna call it a wash. Turning to regret, and I've heard it 1,000 times. Oh, you're gonna regret not having kids when you're older. Well, finding the data on that is a little bit tricky. That being said, I did find a report published in 2021 surveying Americans between the age of 18 and 74. But with it, it more so focused on adults that had kids and whether or not they regretted how many they had. 19% didn't have kids nor want them. 9% had kids but wanted fewer. 34% were happy with the amount that they had. 24% had kids and wanted more. And 13% didn't have kids but they wanted them. But finding any surveys where parents talk about them flat out not wanting children was almost impossible to find. And that makes sense for one who was openly going to volunteer that they regret having their children. Two, once you've had that kid and lived that experience, you've changed. I'm sure maybe having an unexpected pregnancy isn't ideal at that time, but as you get older, you grow to learn with the outcome and you change as a person, ideally for the better. And basically having a survey out there that's asking if you regret it is asking if you regret everything you've experienced with this child. On the flip side, I ran into the same issue. It's hard to find people that did not have kids that openly say they regretted it. That being said, I still looked into a variety of different message boards and blogs and unofficial surveys, and I saw far too many people saying that they were completely okay with their decision to not have children. Now, I can't stop hearing about this. Who's gonna take care of you when you're in retirement, when you're old and decrepit? Well, look something up. 55% of Americans say that they're going to help their parents financially in retirement. Specifically, 14% currently are, and 41% say that they are going to. And personally, I think that that is wonderful. Just one quick question, really fast. How? 1 in 5 Americans over the age of 50 do not have a retirement savings. 61% are worried they're going to have enough money to support them in retirement. So you've got a really large amount of people that need financial aid. Here's the problem. Research came out that 45% of Americans between the age of 18 and 34 are completely financially independent from their parents. And if we just ignore the 55% that are not, saving for the future, paying for college, buying a home, finding a spouse, you know, the basic building blocks to the American dream. Well, unfortunately, they're leaving people in crippling debt. People's FICO scores are looking like the end sum of a regular season NBA basketball game. So while these desires for these people are very noble and wanting to help their parents, there are no guarantees. Even if we disregard all the financial pieces, the main point is this: your children do not owe you anything. If I buy paintbrushes, canvas, and I tell people I'm gonna be making these amazing works of art, should I start? Would it be nice? Yeah. Am I obligated to? No. They could collect dust between all my other creative endeavors, and that would be that. It is an extreme comparison, and yeah, you should help your parents, especially if they were there for you growing up. But simply stating, well, my kids will be there during my retirement is a very bold statement to make in terms of why parents are better off than non-parents. Sure, there are different cultures and beliefs that prioritize older people in their age and helping them throughout retirement. Regardless, it's not an even spread. There are so many scenarios that can lead to kids not being able to provide for their parents later in life. The reality of it sometimes is that the people that we will turn to in our older age is our alternative family, our friends, the people that we've made a part of our lives as we've grown up and gotten older. Because kids, they're not magic 8 balls. You don't get to shake them if you don't like the outcome. It's a lottery, and you don't get to choose a number, or even if the ball gets chosen. All you get to do is play. That's it. And lastly, legacy, which I don't even know how we got here. I think people are confused as though we live in the 16th century and we have a surplus of powdered wigs, pocket watches, and as if we're living during the monarchy. A few people here and there will make a name for themselves in the grand scheme of things. I could just pluck someone from the cauldron of future irrelevancy. Boop. Kai Cenat. Is he currently irrelevant? No. He has brought people countless amounts of joy. He has completely changed the way that we view and see streaming. Currently one of the top streamers on Twitch, if not just streaming platforms in general. And I'm sure he is going to continue doing some really cool stuff. But 200, 300, 400 years from now, is he still going to be as relevant as he is today? Probably not. And so with stuff regarding legacy, I find it a fool's errand to debate whether or not having kids is better than the alternative. How amazing it would be if they would carry on your name. Because yeah, there are amazing people out there that have done a tremendous amount of good and will continue to. But then again, I feel as though people like Joyce and Lionel Dahmer, they may beg to differ. I'm tired on Wednesday. It's hump day, man, not hump day. I want to lay down, watch Markiplier, and debate whether or not Amazon is going to keep the Fallout series great or if they're going to turn it into a Promised Neverland situation.